Good evening, everyone, and welcome you all to our What Buddha Said class. First, I'm going to pay homage to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May my homage to my teacher, Pinwat Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so dear friends, today I'm going to give a Dhamma talk based on a beautiful story of a Venerable Raṭṭhapāla or Bhante Raṭṭhapāla. He was an enlightened monk, and he was young, and then he had everything in his lay life. He had wealth, health, family, and comfort. Yet he chose to leave all of those things behind to follow the path of the Buddha. So why did he do that? Actually, this is the Raṭṭhapāla Sutta. It's a little bit long sutta. It is in Majjhima Nikaya, middle length discourses. So it is a middle length discourse. So I'm not going to talk about the whole sutta. I'm going to take the most important part of that sutta. So in this sutta, Venerable Raṭṭhapāla Thero, or Bhante Raṭṭhapāla, he speaks about 4 truths about our life. 4 truths about our life. So Venerable Raṭṭhapāla, he went to become a monk, and then he attained the full enlightenment. Then after he attained the full enlightenment, he decided to visit his parents. Then while he was staying in that village, one day he met the king of that kingdom. So then that king, he asked a question. He said, Venerable Raṭṭhapāla, most people become monks because of loss of youth, loss of health, loss of wealth, or loss of relatives. But you are still young, healthy, rich, and surrounded by family. So why did you decide to become a monk? So, even today, we also get that question. Okay? Sometimes people ask, okay, can I ask a quick question? Why did you decide to become a monk? So, like that king also asked that same question. Then Arahant Raṭṭhapāla Thero, he replied, he said, I decided to become a monk because one day I went to listen to a Dhamma talk of Buddha. On that day, Buddha taught me about 4 truths about life. 4 truths about life. Number 1, life is impermanent. It is swept away. This is the first lesson. First truth. The second one, life is insecure. No one can keep it under their control. Number 3, life has nothing of its own. One has to leave everything behind. Number 4, life is incomplete, insatiable, and the slave of craving. 4 truths about life. Life is impermanent. It is swept away. Life is insecure. No one can keep it under their control. Life has nothing of its own. One has to leave all and pass on. Life is incomplete, insatiable, the slave of craving. So those are the 4 truths that young Raṭṭhapāla learned about the life, and he decided to become a monk. So let's look at each of these 4 truths. So the first one, life is impermanent. It is swept away. So dear friends, when we are young, strong, and healthy, it feels like it will last forever. But time is like a river. It flows without stopping. Even today, we woke up in the morning. We did so many things during the day. Now, the day is coming to the end. So what happened? Gradually, we became old. So everything changes. So the king says, when he was young, he was strong and very skilled, but now he's in his 80s. Now he says, even lifting a foot is difficult. So now we can think about our life. So when we were in 20s, our body was different. Our energy was different. And sometimes we might have thought, oh, we have some superhuman strength. So when I was in high school, I played rugby for my high school, and we used to go to the gym every day. And so there was a friend of mine, and he had an accident, and then he always felt his body was weak. So one day he talked to me about that. Then I said, but I feel I'm very strong. I told him, I feel like I can stop a gigantic truck. So that is a kind of delusion. Okay? But that's how we think. Okay? So we think, okay, so now I'm strong, I'm healthy, I will not be sick, and I can live like this forever. But that's not true. So King said again, when I was young, I was strong, but now I am old and weak. When I was 20 or 25 years old, I was an expert rider of elephants, and I had a very strong body, capable in any battle. And sometimes I wonder if I had some supernormal power. I don't see anyone who could equal me in strength. Then he says, but now I'm old. Now I have come to the last stage of my life. Sometimes I mean to put my foot here, but I put my foot somewhere else. So that's what happened to all of us when we are getting old. No one is free from that. So everyone in this world is subject to aging. So everything is impermanent. Nothing is permanent in this world. So life keeps moving. Nothing stays the same. So one day, another king went to meet the Buddha. So on that day, Buddha gave a simile of a mountain crushing all living beings. So Buddha asked, that king's name was Kosala. We call him Pasena the Kosala. There are a couple of kings that we find in Buddhist scriptures. This is one of them. And so on that day, Buddha said, suppose 4 great mountains were rolling in from the 4 directions, crushing crushing everything in their path. So 4 great mountains rolling in from 4 directions. So then Buddha asks, in such a moment, is there anything that you can do? That king said, in such a moment, I don't see anything that I can do. So in those moments, there is no way that someone can escape. Then Buddha said, dear king, aging and death are rolling in, crushing all beings. So every moment, those 2 mountains, aging and death, are rolling in our direction. No one can escape from that. So that is the truth of our life. So aging and death are like mountains. We cannot stop them. So that's why King Raṭṭhapāla said, the life is impermanent. It is swept away. So that was the first truth that he learned about the life. And the second truth, life is insecure. No one can keep it under their control. So, dear friends, we often feel we are safe because of our family, friends, wealth, or power, or because we live in a good country. So we feel like we are safe. But when sickness or death comes, no one can take our suffering away. So when we feel, when we are sick and when we suffer from strong pain, we cannot tell anyone, hey, can you take my pain away? No one can do that. So couple of weeks ago, I had gastritis. There was a very strong pain in my stomach, but my other Bantes, they try to cure it, try to cure that, but it wasn't successful. Any medication didn't answer. So then I had to feel my pain. So it is same for everyone. No one can take our pain away. So then that king, so his name was Koravya. I know it's not easy to pronounce. So that king said, I have a chronic illness. So there are moments it become very bad. In those moments, my friends stand around me. My friends and my family, they stand around me. But no one can take away my pain. I must feel it myself. So this shows us a deep truth about our life. So we face our suffering alone. Yes, others can support us with love, but no one can take away our pain. So our family or our friends, okay, no one can take away our pain. And it's same for the other people as well. We cannot take when our loved ones suffer from some sickness. We want to take care of them, but we cannot take their pain away. So that's why this life is insecure. And if we develop our mind, then our mind can become the true protector. So, but if there is any pain in our life, we have to feel it, and no one can remove it from our life. So that is the second truth that Raṭṭhapāla, Arahant Raṭṭhapāla Thero learned when he was listening to the Dhamma talk of the Buddha. Then the third truth, life has nothing of its own. One has to leave everything behind. So dear friends, normally people work so hard to collect wealth, build their houses, and enjoy pleasures. So you go to work, you work 24/7. For what? To collect wealth or to enjoy sense pleasures, take care of your families. But can we take any of those things with us when we leave this world? No, we cannot. So when we die, we have to leave everything behind. We cannot say, oh, I worked so hard to build this house. I worked so hard to buy this vehicle. So because of that, I should be able to take those things with me. But we cannot say like that. We have to leave everything behind. So that king, he says, I have so much gold and property, but when I die, others will take it. I cannot carry it. I cannot carry anything with me. That's the truth about our life. So we have to leave this world without anyone or without anything. So we have to leave everything, and we have to go on our journey by ourselves. There's no one can come with us, or we cannot take anything with us. So, but however, there is a way to take what we have with us. How can we do that? By practicing generosity. So if we practice generosity, then if we give something to other people that we have, then it creates a good karma. Then it brings us happiness. So in that way, we can take what we have with us. But however, we have to leave everything behind when we leave this world. And also in Four Noble Truths, Buddha said, so we have to be separated from our loved ones and what we like. It's a truth. Everyone has to face to that truth. There is no exception for anyone. Everyone has to go through these truths. So, because we have seen billionaires, millionaires, and when they die, they didn't take anything with them. They had to leave everything behind and go on their journey by themselves. So that is the third truth about life. The fourth one, Raṭṭhapāla says, life is incomplete, insatiable, the slave of craving. What is that? So dear friends, even when people have everything, they still want more. Even if someone has $1 million, they need another $1 million. Even if someone is a billionaire, have more craving. So that king already ruled over a very rich man. But when Raṭṭhapāla asked, if you could conquer another land, would you do that? The king said, yes, craving. The craving, it never says enough. So this is the nature of craving. It never ends. No matter how much we have, the mind keeps whispering, just a little more, just a little more, then I'll be happy. But happiness built on craving is never stable. And also it's never complete. It's like drinking salty water. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. Actually, we are slaves. Okay? We are slaves of craving. We do everything to satisfy our craving. But craving keeps asking more, keeps asking more. So most of the people have to work for the craving throughout their lives without understanding that they work for the craving. So, but we need to understand that. We need to understand this life is incomplete. It's insatiable and slave of craving. And the only way to end that slavery is to understand the nature of craving and let it go and find the happiness beyond craving, or find the happiness by abandoning craving. So actually that is the ultimate goal in Buddhism, eradicating craving. And by eradicating craving, we can escape from all sufferings and attain the full enlightenment. So that is the ultimate goal in Buddhism. But until we understand that, we are slaves of craving. And then if we understand that, then we will put a step to liberate ourselves from that slavery. And by abandoning the craving, then we can liberate ourselves. Dear friends, so by learning those 4 truths about life, that young Raṭṭhapāla decided to become a monk. And then he practiced the path toward the full enlightenment, and then he attained the full enlightenment. He abandoned craving completely, and he put an end to all the sufferings, and he attained the bliss of happiness, Nibbana, that is the ultimate goal in Buddhism. So 4 truths about life. We should try to reflect on that. So first one is, life is impermanent. It is swept away. Second one, life is insecure. No one can keep it under their control. Life has nothing of its own. One has to leave everything behind. Life is incomplete, insatiable, the slave of craving. So, dear friends, young Raṭṭhapāla, he didn't wait so much time to put himself on the path toward the liberation. So he realized those 4 truths about the life, and then he decided to become a monk while he was young and strong. And then he practiced the path toward the enlightenment. So it doesn't mean that you should become a monastic. So yes, you have now a lot of responsibilities and you have so many things to do, but we should try to understand these 4 truths about our life. Then while living in your normal life, your household life, gradually you can develop your path toward the enlightenment. So while living in the household life, anyone can understand the 4 noble truths, or understand these truths about the life, and they can practice the teachings of the Buddha, and gradually they can abandon negative thoughts, defilements in their mind, and gradually they can abandon the craving and attain the stages of the enlightenment and finally attain the full enlightenment. Okay, so may we all be able to understand these truths about our life, and may we all be able to practice the teachings of the Buddha, and may we all be able to purify our mind and realize the Four Noble Truths and attain bliss of happiness, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so do we have any questions today? Yes, Caesar.
Andy, so I guess the question that comes to mind is what happens when the craving per se is related to like the responsibility that you have for others, like the craving to provide for kids, and therefore you need a career and you're always trying to earn more because you need to provide for them and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Caesar, that's a good question. Yes, you have those responsibilities in your life. Okay? So you have to take care of your family, and you have to help your kids to have a good life. Okay? So there are so many responsibilities in your life. You cannot do this thing overnight, but what you can do gradually, you should do those things not to find happiness in your life, but to help others. We should not do any of those things to please ourselves. No, it is your responsibility, and you can do it as a kind of good karma. And then it helps you to develop your path. So then you can convert what you do as a part of your spiritual practice. Then you can take care of your kids, your family, and at the same time, you can develop your spiritual path as well.
I have a question about the first one, the life is impermanent. Yeah. How do you apply impermanence in like a relationship, like in your marriage, for example? Like how can you look at it from that lens of impermanence? You know that person's going to die eventually, you know they're going to move on eventually, or you're going to die before them. So, but how do you, I don't think I'm asking you right. It's impermanence in a relationship, but without attachment. Does that make sense? Like if you're attached to the person you're married to, like really attached and controlling and like watching everything they do, like the possessive wife, you know, for example, always keep an eye on what's happening, looking out for threats. How do you detach from something like that and find peace?
Okay.
Does it make sense what I'm asking?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So first we need to understand, like, we cannot get rid of our attachments within 1 day or 7 days. Okay. It takes some time. But here is the thing. Yeah. If someone is really smart, like some enlightened monks who lived in the Buddha's time, then they can do it instantly. They can let go of all the attachment instantly. But we are not in that level. So because of that, we have to train our mind to do that. So there's a sutta. In that sutta, Buddha says there are a couple of things that we should reflect often. One of those things is we should often reflect, I have to be separated from my loved ones. So Buddha says we have to reflect on always. So one day, okay, we have to be separated from our loved ones. And when we reflect on that always, then gradually we can remove the attachment that we have, or we can weaken the attachment that we have to our loved ones. And then it helps us to get rid of the desires that we have toward our loved ones. Yeah, so that is something that Buddha has recommended us to practice.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome.
I have a question about life is nothing of its own and one has to live and pass on. I am hung up on, like, for instance, my mom passed away, my dad passed away. Some of their clothing were kept by me because for sentimental value. And there are certain clothing that my sister gave me, I couldn't fit in it, but then because of sentimental value, I couldn't give them away. So what is your thought on this? I just don't want my whole closet to be filled with too much clothing. Then at the same time, I don't want to throw all of them away, feeling like I'm heartless and whatever people give me, I don't appreciate.
Many people have that problem, like when their loved ones die, that they want to keep their possessions and they want to save that. There's nothing wrong with that, but however, we need to understand it's in our mind, okay? Because they don't expect us to save what they have. So because they have already left us. So what you can do, if there are good things, I mean, if there are things that other people can use, then you can donate them to the other people. And then you can share that good karma with your departed relatives. So that is a good practice. Okay? So, if you really want to keep those things, yes, you can keep those things. Okay, but however, suppose think about in this way. Okay, what if you attain the first stage of the enlightenment, or what if you attain full enlightenment? Okay, will you still keep those things with you? No, you let go of those things. Okay, so since people have attachment, they have attachment to their departed relatives, that they also have the attachment to the things that they used when they were alive. So once you don't have that attachment to them, and then very easily you can donate those things to someone else without hurting your feelings. You can abandon those things. But since people have attachments, so one of the meaningful things that they can do is donating those things to other people. Then it's a good karma. Then you can share that good karma with your departed relatives.
If we donate to goodwill, it will still be good karma, right?
Yeah, of course.
Goodwill.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, here's one thing. Always we should donate things that we can use. Actually, I learned it from Buddhism, actually from my teacher. So before I started to practice Buddhism, we used to give things that we cannot use. Okay? So I still can, I mean, things that we have already abandoned. Okay, for example, like, so if I have some clothes that I don't use, then I like to donate those things. But I don't like to give my favorite cloth. Okay? I still remember when a tsunami hit Sri Lanka. So people collected clothes and food for the victims of the tsunami. And I can still remember, I also donated some clothes, but all of those clothes I couldn't use. I mean, I didn't use. Okay? So, but I didn't give good clothes, new clothes. But after some time, when I joined our organization, this Buddhist organization, then I learned how my teacher practiced the generosity at that time. So he has asked his devotees and the monks to go to the stores and buy new clothes and send all the new clothes to those people. That is the way to practice generosity. So why? Because we should put ourselves in their place. Okay, how do I feel when when someone give me something that they cannot use? But how do I feel when someone gives something in a very good condition, or maybe a brand new thing? So then, so we should think about it. Then we should always, when we practice generosity, we should always give the best things that we have. And here's the thing: like when we talk about the best things, like we don't need to think about a very high level, like something that we can afford. Okay? Something what we can afford, but it should be in a good condition. Okay, and it should be able to make the receiver happy. Okay? So then it become a very good karma, powerful good karma. So today we discuss about 4 truths that young Raṭṭhapāla learned, and he was influenced to become a monk. So by discussing those teachings, we collect a lot of merit, good karma. So by the power of all the good karma we collected today, may you and your loved ones have a long life, healthy life. More importantly, may you be able to practice the teachings of the Buddha and understand the true nature of this life, and may you be able to realize the 4 noble truths and attain bliss of happiness, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now I'm going to chant verses of blessings. Close your eyes and listen to me. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. May you have a long life and be free from illness. May you attain bliss of happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you so much for joining today. May you be well and happy.